Hey guys, it's Shell the Spiritual Warrior here, and this week we're going to be discussing the mind. Do you trust your mind? Me? Not always. Today we're going to be discussing anxiety. Anxiety in its simplest form is an over-obsession with the future. The reason why we're discussing anxiety is because it's something that I have faced in my life. It's something I see a lot of other people facing, and I feel like with everything going on in the world and everything that goes on in your day-to-day problems, that learning to manage anxiety, well, I'll say this, learning to manage my anxiety has been totally life-changing. I'll leave it at that. Nothing more to be said. Learning to manage my anxiety has been totally life-changing. So, like I said, anxiety is the over-obsession with the future. It's not so much the definition that gets us, I don't even know if everybody knows the definition, but that is the definition of anxiety. And it's not so much of the definition that gets us, it's the way that anxiety makes us feel. It's the sweaty palms, it's the fast heartbeat, it's the obsessive thoughts, the foggy, the cloudiness, the tension in the body, the knot in the whatever the heck this thing is. Biology people, help me out. That is anxiety. So, when there is an over-obsession with an outcome, it is a belief system that if this situation does not ultimately turn out the way that you want it, then you will in some way be incapacitated. You'll in some way be broken. You'll in some way be less than what you were before. So, if you're watching this video, let me ask you this. Is there ever something that happened to you in your life that broke you, incapacitated you, you were just no longer able to function in the world? If your answer is yes, the answer is no. You're still here. You're watching this video, and that's a fantastic thing, and you should feel some confidence in that thing, whatever that thing was that you thought was going to break you, it didn't. And that is one step in the right direction of learning to manage your anxiety. Changing that belief system around that you'll in some way be broken when in fact you won't be. The second step to moving past your anxiety, well, don't get anxious about being anxious. A lot of times we begin to judge ourselves around what we're feeling, and we just get so wrapped up in the fact that we feel the way we feel. I don't want to feel this way. I want this feeling to go away. Really doing that gives the feeling way more shelf life than it should have. Feelings are just feelings. They're emotions. They are feelings in motion. Really, they're meant to just be felt and to pass through. It's just energy. It's just energy in motion. What you focus on, it begins to grow. So if you focus on the fact that you're incredibly anxious, you're only going to become more anxious. And that's going to further impact your anxiety, right? If the only thought that you have is, why am I so anxious? The anxiety isn't going anywhere. So I'll tell you a story about my friend. I have a friend, his heat broke. He was having an event, and he really, really wanted his heat to be working by the time this event happened. Understandable, right? Anybody would want that. But he had worked himself into such a frenzy about this heat not being fixed that it had ruined his entire day. He couldn't think about anything else except for his heat being fixed. So we had a conversation about him because he was visibly pissed about this situation. So we start talking about it, and he said what made him the most angry, he already knows that, he has some difficulties with anxiety and everything. That's a conversation that we have had, from myself to him, from himself to me. So we had a conversation, and I'm telling him, don't feel so bad about being anxious. It's okay. Everybody gets anxious, right? It's not so much about the fact that you feel anxious, it's more of the fact that you continue to feel anxious, that you continue to put a level of pressure on the situation that holds the anxiety. So once we discussed these things and, he shared more of how he felt, and my ultimate advice was, look, man, let go. You can't fix the heat. The repairman has been notified. You can't control when he comes, if he can fix it, if he has all the parts. There are a million possibilities in the world. You don't know what's going to happen from moment to moment. So the best thing to do is chill the hell out. So, go figure. We're able to have a conversation. We change the topic. Guess what happens next? He gets a phone call. Not 20 seconds after the conversation was shifted, he gets a phone call. It's the man about the heat. Guess what? Heat's fixed. No issue. Party is on. Event is great. And at the end of the day, what was the point? But isn't that like so many of us? I know it's me. I definitely know it's me. It's times that I get so worked up about things that once they come to pass, I don't even remember that I was worked up about it. I heard on an interview, I wish I could tell you who it was. I can. It's Judge Lynn Toller. Judge Lynn Toller mentioned having a worry book. She wrote down all of her worries in this book, and she went back after time passed. She would go back and she would look at the worries in the book, and she would realize that she wasn't even worried about those things anymore. That's just the way life is. We constantly have things that we could be worried about if we were looking for something to be worried about. So if you're a worrier, you will always worry unless you stop that belief in your head that your worry is actually going to do anything, because it's not. It's not going to do anything, guys. So I don't want you to feel that way. But the third thing that I can say about problems is that you'll have them. You won't have the same ones that you have today, but you'll have different ones. Potentially tomorrow, potentially next week, potentially next month. But problems are a part of life. If you don't have a problem, you're dead. Like, seriously, think about that. If a problem does not occur in your life, you're not alive. You can't be human, because problems happen for everybody. But problems are here to teach us. Guess what? You don't learn from success. It just happens, right? When you succeed at something, it just feels good. You succeeded, yeah. But guess what? Problems allow us the opportunity to rise to the occasion. Problems allow us the opportunity to do something different than we did in the past. Problems allow us to grow. Problems allow us to add different tools to our toolbox so that we're more confident in solving the problem next time. That's all it is. You'll never stop having problems. But the more you solve problems and give yourself the credit for not being broken, because you will not break, you're not going to break. You will be more confident when the next problem arises, which will happen inevitably, and you'll be able to solve it. You'll go into it much more confident about solving the problem. Problems are a part of life. They're not going anywhere. If you're anxious about your problems, your anxiety, the problem is not the problem. The problem is the fact that you're anxious. The problem is that there's not quite enough tools in the toolbox to solve the problem. Or, I'm sorry, not enough tools in the toolbox to stop the anxiety. And I understand that, because that's been most of my life. So hopefully we can make a shift together, because anxiety is not something that we all need to be hog-tied with. Anxiety shouldn't be that thing that just, stops us all or messes everything up with the stressed mind, the over obsession of thoughts. It's really hard to solve a problem when you're anxious, because the nature of anxiety, you continue to repeat the problem over and over and over in your head. There's no solution. You don't allow for a solution. You become so attached. I won't even say you. I have become so attached to the problem at times that even though the solution is right in my face, I can't see it because I'm married to the problem. My mind hasn't shifted to the solution because I'm still pissed that there's a problem. I know somebody can relate to that. I know somebody can. Because that's how problems work, right? You go into it and you think, I can't believe this is happening to me. How could this be happening to me? Everything I did to prevent this problem from happening, and it happened anyway, or everything I prevented for that problem not to happen, now this problem is happening. Because it's just life. It's just life. You can't even, I won't even say be attached to the solution. Allow the solution. Allow the collaborative effort of you and the universe, God, whatever higher power or higher consciousness, thought process, whatever. Allow yourself to collaborate, because you're collaborating anyway, whether you consciously know it or not. So allow for the answer to come, because if you request the answer is coming. But in order for the answer to come, you gotta be quiet enough to hear it. And guess what keeps you from being quiet? The thoughts in your head. I've been there. I get it. So, we gotta be calmer. We gotta allow for the collaboration to happen so that the solution can come. We can't judge ourselves about being anxious, because as soon as you judge yourself, what you focus on grows. So if you're judging yourself for being anxious, you're just going to be anxious about judging yourself for being anxious. Anxiety, being stuck in anxiety too long just leads to more anxiety. You gotta let it go. That's all emotions are. There's something that come in, and there's something that can be released. It's not supposed to get stuck in your body. Emotions will always come. We have to learn to just be a conductor. Whoof, whoof. That's what we gotta learn how to do. Just pass it back up. We gotta remember that the problems are an opportunity for us to be better. It's an opportunity for us to rise to the occasion. And we can all do it. There's a certain beauty in problems. There's a certain beauty in how the entire thing works. It's the toolbox. Add more tools to the toolbox. Lower your anxiety. I hope this was helpful. I hope that it gave you guys some food for thought. It's something that's really helped me, just kind of shifting that mindset instead of the why me, shifting it to why not me? What can I learn from this situation? It's not going to kill me. So what do I need to do to take the lesson away? So again, this is Shell the Spiritual Warrior. Keep growing, guys. It's the only way to live. Love is the answer. Peace.